Good evening. You are about to take a journey in the new Bentley Flying Spur. But seriously though, we're in the new Bentley Flying Spur, and this thing is incredible. And I have to say thank you guys. I have so many of you that have supported the channel, and the fact that I get to have this in my driveway for 7 days is absolutely unreal, and I have no one to thank but God and you guys. So thank you so much. And this review is going to be very, very in-depth. I'm going to cover every single detail about this all-new Flying Spur, and trust me, it has a lot. So do yourself a favor, scroll over that time card, because I would not be surprised if it's almost an hour long. But unashamedly, I am not afraid to make this very, very long because I want you guys to experience what all this car has to offer. But let's go ahead and get started. All right, guys, let's go ahead and check out the 2020 Bentley Flying Spur. And before I get started, guys, if you are new to the channel and you want to subscribe, be sure to hit the subscribe button. It's completely free and it really helps the channel grow. And if you like car content, I post 2 to 3 times a week, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Now let's go ahead and jump right into this price. This is $271,850, and this is the first edition of the Bentley Flying Spur. And with the first edition, you get a few special features unique to this. Now this color is called Meteor, and it's like a bluish gray with hints of purple in it. Very simplistic name for a really complex looking paint coat. This thing looks incredible, and I don't even have to tell you that it makes these lines look awesome. Now as we move to the front of this Flying Spur, you're gonna have this massive imposing grille, which just looks so menacing. I mean, there's nothing else on the road that looks as incredible as this does. It has such a presence for being a luxury sedan. And this grille is perfectly accented by those massive, just deep lines that go through the hood right there. Now, as you come up, you have your brand new Flying B symbol located right there. And it is awesome. And just like Rolls-Royce, if you try to grab it, boom, it'll suck itself right down. And at night it does illuminate, so it just looks so cool. Now coming back up on the hood, you have this aluminum accent that's going to run right there, and what that does, at least in my opinion, it just perfectly lines up in the middle of that emblem right there, and it just gives it a really cool look. So if you're very OCD, this is a car for you because everything is so perfectly calculated and designed. Now coming to the lights, you have your signature Bentley lights, and it does have this really beautiful like crystal design inside of it. It looks like a chandelier inside of your headlight. It is really cool. Your daytime running lights look awesome, so when you see this rolling down the road, the big grille, the hood emblem, the daytime running LEDs, it just makes this thing instantly recognizable as a Bentley, and you cannot help but to stare at it when it's driving down the road. Now you also have aluminum accents going around the outside of the light right there. And then coming down, you do have an area here and an area over there that are going to be your night vision cameras. So yes, this has night vision. It's really cool. I do not recommend you driving without your lights on. You technically could. Not sure why this car has it, but it's just cool that it has it. It's one of those things where you can say, hey, my car has night vision, and people are just impressed. There's really nothing else to say about it, really. Lots of openings right here to feed that W12 some nice cool air. Front camera located right there. Then as we move back to the wheels here, these are 20-inch wheels, and it's a really simplistic design, yet it works so well in making the way this car looks when it drives so effortless. When you see it driving down the road, it looks like it's not even trying. It just has a glide and just a flow to it that is really, really elegant. Now, going to the tires on here, these are Pirelli P0 tires. These are 275 section tires in the front, 315s in the rear, so you have a nice staggered setup. This is also going to have rear steer on here, so you guys can see the rear steer working away. Very cool, and it actually turns the wheel at a pretty aggressive angle in the back, so I thought that was very cool, and it makes the turning radius on here so good. Now, above the wheels, you do have these beautifully accented wheel arches. You have this thick prominent line that's going to run all the way down the side of the car, and it's going to meet up with the line that forms above the rear haunch, and it is just stunning, guys, just stunning. Bentley B right there, which is formed to look like a vent, but it is a non-functional vent. W12 emblem here with some more chrome accenting going along the bottom there. Now, as we back up, you guys can see the side profile of this thing. It is so beautiful. It's very long, very elegant, and once again, the lines are very strong. Everything just looks so well crafted, and there's hardly anything I dislike about the design of this car. Now, as you work your way back to the rear quarter panel, that rear haunch really starts to accentuate itself, and then you are going to have your first edition badge located right here, and it's just a nice little British flag. Now, in terms of the taillights, they are very cool. They have the same Bentley B design, but when you get really close to them at night, you can see there's a lot of detail within that light itself, and then it just makes the car look really good at night, so that is a huge plus. And then also the headlamps, which I did not mention, full LEDs, obviously. Now, as you come to the back, you're going to have your Bentley emblem right here. But just in case you don't know what that emblem is, Bentley literally decided to spell it out for you. So it is going to say Bentley right down there as well. Oval tipped exhaust, signature Bentley. Let's go ahead and fire up that W12 and hear how it sounds. All right, you guys, so here is your key for the Bentley Flying Spur. Beautiful key design, unlock, lock, trunk release, panic. On the side, you have this like quilted metal pattern right here. On the back, it's gonna say Bentley with your B, and the key itself just has a very like heavy feel to it. Really nice. Now, we know that once you unlock it, your emblem will pop up in front of the hood. Once you lock it, the emblem will go back down. And then also you do have touch sensitive areas on your door handle that you can put your thumb on top of, and then you have an area in the back of the door handle. You put your hand there, that will unlock the vehicle, and then you can get in. All right, you guys, so getting inside of the Bentley Flying Spur. Now, needless to say, this interior is covered in details, and I'm about to go through all of that right now. So let's go ahead and start at the door. Now, first of all, when you open the door, you have the Bentley logo that shines down on the ground, and that's nothing new. However, this is the most clear logo I have ever seen. You can even see detail in the puddle light. And not only do you have it in the front two doors, you have it in the rear two doors as well. Now, as we come here to the top, you're going to have this beautiful like blue leather right here, beautifully contrasted with this ivory leather located right underneath it. And then you are going to have the stitching, and it's going to be basically inverted. So you have the white stitching on top, and then you have the blue stitching here on the bottom. Really cool touch, and once again, just a small detail that someone probably never would have noticed. All right, so as you move up, you have this beautiful two wood inlay right here. So you have this lighter wood there up top, and then you have this like piano black wood located here, aluminum accents going in between that. Obviously more leather adorning over here. Leather's going to flow all the way across with this really cool quilted ivory leather right here. And here's one of the craziest details to me. So you have your door handle, which is just pure metal, but right behind the door handle, you have a knurled finish. No one would ever see that, but you can feel it every time you open the door, and it's the coolest thing, and it's one of my favorite details about this car. Now, as we come to the handle, obviously more blue leather. Even your switches for your windows are going to be full metal with your child locks there in the back. The knob here to control your mirrors, metal as well. Obviously full leather right here, really soft armrest located there. Leather here on the bottom. Your NAME sound system, I apologize if I'm not pronouncing that correctly, but very good sound system. This is to open the rear trunk, 2 memory seat settings, obviously storage space. This is going to illuminate at night, it says Bentley, and this will actually change colors according to what you have your accent lighting set to within the car. First edition badge located right there. Even the bottom of the railing here has pure metal located right there. You have the Bentley B located on your brake, and it is the matching like navy blue there on the brake pedal, and of course covered in aluminum. Really insane that is even a thing. Now coming down here, you have all of your seating controls right here. This is how you turn on your massage seats there off to the side, and even the switches have like a really nice like designed look to them. Really cool. This is going to be like a soft plastic right here, very smooth leather, just gives so easily. Perforations there in the middle. Obviously perforation is going to run all along the middle of the seat, with quilting getting smaller as you go up towards the top. And then you have your Bentley stitched right there, and then obviously your headrest. Now what do you guys say we go ahead, hop in, and check out the rest? Okay, shutting the door on the Bentley. Dead silent. I can literally whisper, and it's just crazy. I'm also next to the microphone, so there's that. Now, here's a wider look at the interior, and I mean, it is absolutely stunning. Wood everywhere, leather everywhere, metal everywhere. And to start, make sure your foot is on the brake. Your start-stop button is going to be located right there. You're just going to hit that to start. And just in case you guys did not see it, the screen does do a nice little flip whenever you turn the vehicle on. Really, really cool. Now let's go ahead and move back to the steering wheel. So we're going to dive into all of these details. You have the Bentley B right here, aluminum accenting going around it, aluminum accent down here, blue stitching, more of that ivory leather, perforated blue leather off to the side. You're going to have a lot of your media commands here. This is to control the view of the screen. I'll get to that in just a second. Heated steering wheel, more media commands right over here, voice commands, phone commands, your paddle shifters, which also have a knurled finish behind them, which is pretty funny. A full metal stock knurling there on the end. Over here to the left, you're going to have your blinker, same thing, really nice quality design. Even your cruise control right back there is a metal switch, just pretty insane. Now, as we come to this screen, it is all digital, and it's very easy to work. It's really simplistic, and there's actually not a lot of customization you can do to it, which is great because it is less things to worry about. So using that view button, it'll change the view for me just right there, and that's literally all it does. And then I can scroll left and right and see whatever I want to see. And that's pretty much it. You can't change the gauge cluster. It doesn't change with any of the drive mode settings. It just stays like that all the time, which I quite like because it's simplistic. You don't have to mess with it, and it's digital, so it looks really nice. All of your lighting controls located right over here. As we come up, you have this full metal vent. This is how you turn the vents on and off. In for closed, pull out for open. Now as we move up, you're going to have more of that blue leather here. The entire dash is just adorned in it. Right back here, you guys can see, hopefully you have a speaker that's going to run the length of the dash right there. And then moving down to your screen here, I mean, it's a really good looking screen, just very easy to look at. The colors, it's very vivid. Everything just looks really nice. And you can use these controls over here to control the screen. Sound settings, you can go through here. Active bass is interesting. So there's like a bass speaker. I don't know if it's under your seat or in the seat, but either way, your seat shakes like you're in like a high-end movie theater. It's pretty insane. So if you're listening to like live music or anything like, let's say, rock music, anything that's got like some hard bass for the drums, or even if you're listening to like hip hop, classical, whatever you're listening to, if there's any sort of bass, you feel it within your body, and it's the coolest and most immersive sound experience. It's very, very cool. The focus is cool too. I can go through and do just the driver, front, all, rear, classic, digital media, spoken word, enhance, and it'll adjust the sound system to one of these settings. So very, very nice. Now you can also go through here and control all of your ambient lighting. So this does have ambient lighting. It looks absolutely stunning in this car, you guys. I mean, just so vivid, so bright. It's not really on the like Mercedes-Benz level of things, but it's pretty close, and it's close enough that you really won't even care. And on top of that, you're in a Bentley and not in a Mercedes, so you probably don't care either way. Another thing that's pretty cool is the screen is like a big triangle. So whenever the car's off, you guys saw it's just the wood, and then if I hit this screen button, there we go. We have a compass here in the middle. This is basically going to be like a stopwatch right over here, and then you're going to have your temperature located there. And at night, all three of these illuminate. I mean, it looks awesome. So if you want to drive around and you want to feel just more expensive and have all of your physical dials there, it's a really cool way just to simplify the interior, but it's perfect because you still have this touch of modern digitized, I guess, screen. That way you can still have that feel, but keep everything else a little bit more cohesive, a little bit more old school in its luxurious design. Now, moving down, you're going to have these vents with this metal that's going to go all the way around, all the way here. Your Bentley clock, which is also going to illuminate at night, looks very, very cool. You have two USBs here and here. You have a 12 volt here, which, if I'm not mistaken, yes, your 12 volt also has a knurled finish on it, because why not? You also have a wireless charging pad located in here. That is an extra option, and it works obviously pretty well, so no surprise there. And as you move back, you have this incredible shifter. The whole thing is just metal here in the back. It's going to be that blue leather located right there. You have your Bentley B located on top, parking button located there. I mean, the whole thing just looks and feels so expensive. Now you push down this button, pull all the way back to throw it into drive, push all the way forward to put it into reverse. Backup camera comes up. The resolution is good, but it looks very warped. At least this one looks very warped. You guys can see how everything looks like it's going into like this center point here. So that's a little frustrating. And then this 360-degree camera is very good. The quality, the resolution, everything is great. It's just this camera, but I can go through here and I can adjust different views. So there's a front view. Here's a side view of the camera, which is great because it doesn't show the car. It just specifically shows your sides. You have a panoramic of the front, and then you have a panoramic of the rear. So very wide angle, so you can see cars coming from this side and from this side. Now, if I hit park, obviously all of that goes away. And then as you come down, you have dual zone climate control. So you guys can see you have your own climate located here. To do fan, you hit that. That'll do your fan speed, and you can adjust that there. Different zones located right down here. I'll have to do this a lot because everything is like glare central. Heated and cooled seats for both sides. Right down here, you're going to have your synchronized air, max defrost for your windshield, and then for your rear. And moving back down, you do have your parking brake, electronic parking brake located right there. Traction control, hazards, automatic start stop. You have automatic parking in here. And then honestly, I'm not really sure what this is. I've been messing with it. Oh, that pulls up your camera right here. So this will just pull up your camera on demand whenever I press that. And then you have these buttons here, which these are going to control all of your shades within the car. So like your rear shade, the side shades, the moonroof. So hitting that button again closes everything up. Very, very cool. And then right here in the middle, on top of this being your start stop button, this is also your drive mode. So you have sport, you have your Bentley drive mode, you have your comfort, and then you have custom. So Bentley always markets themselves as like luxury and sport, and that is very obvious judged on this right here. So you have sport over on one end, Comfort on the other end, and then Bentley right in the middle. So it's a good mix between the two. And then custom over here, you can obviously customize it however you guys like. Now moving back, you do have your cup holders with this very nice wood finish. You push it and it just folds back in the most luxurious way. Obviously cup holders there are nice. You have a little bit of storage area actually located right here. You can put your key or something very small there. There's no armrest. I thought this was an armrest. This is simply just an area for you to rest your arm, nothing else. It does go forwards and backwards, but that's going to be it for that. Now you have your glove box here, but obviously the handle is full metal. It's cold to the touch literally right now as I'm grabbing it. Right in here you have a bunch of felt. My wife's brush is in there, which is pretty funny. Very nice amount of storage space there. You have a flag right there that's going to be for your first edition badging that is specific to this car. As you move up, you have a frameless mirror design. It is auto dimming as well as the side mirrors. You have touch sensitive lights right here. Home link located way up there, if you guys can even see that. It's pretty dark. And then obviously all of your controls right up there to open like your moonroof and things like that. Vanity mirror, full leather wrapped vanity mirror, LED light. It does not pull out and it doesn't have an extension. Last few things to note, you do have a full leather wrapped headliner. So this entire headliner is leather wrapped. You can actually see the stitching, hopefully see the stitching located right there. Even this is leather wrapped. Very soft close feature right there. And then coming to the windows, you have double pane windows. So very thick windows, and here's a B-roll clip so you guys can really see the detail in that. It's pretty magnificent what Bentley was able to do here, but I promise you the back seat is even cooler. So let's go ahead and check it out. All right, you guys, so sitting in the back of the Bentley Flying Spur. Now, first of all, this is just as good as the front. You don't have as many gadgets, at least you may not think so yet, but once I dive into everything, you're gonna be very shocked with how well this is equipped back here. So first of all, when you hop back here, the door shut is super solid. Really nice solid shut. You have all leather on the entire door, just like you do on the front. You have this quilted pattern here in the middle, which looks really good. You also have ambient lighting back here, and it looks really nice because you have the accent up top, and then at the bottom you are going to have a nice little, I guess, glow. So that way if you're trying to reach things out from inside of there, you can still see in the back, because with these shades up at night, it can get very, very dark. Now, as far as room back here, I have a really good amount of room. I'm 6 feet tall. This is where I was sitting, and I have almost half a foot of knee room. Feet room is great. I can slide my feet underneath. Headroom seems to be fine. My hair, I don't think is touching. I have about an inch above my massive hair, which probably adds another 2 inches on top of me. And I'm very comfortable. The seats feel very nice. Now you can adjust the seats, and I'll get to that in just a second. But the seats themselves are very comfortable. They have this really nice like bolster here that kind of hugs you into the seat. The material is still the quilted leather. Everything feels awesome. You still have the Bentley B logo there, and then you have pillows built in to the back right here, and I can also pull it and then adjust how I want it to like hug around the back of my neck, which is awesome. Now, folding down this middle armrest, one thing that's really cool is Bentley doesn't want you to slam down your armrest. So once you get halfway down, it lowers the rest of the way for you, which is pretty cool. And then lifting this up, you even have a knurled metal finish located underneath this area right here, which is really cool. This whole area is lined in felt. You have 2 USBs back here, and even your 12 volt here has a knurled finish on it, which is just awesome. So closing that, you have 2 cup holders here, and at the bottom of your cup holders, just like in the front, a quilted pattern, because you wouldn't expect anything less. Why should my drinks not have the same luxury I'm having here in the back? Now lifting up the armrest, let's go ahead and get to one of the coolest parts about the back seat, and that is this little tablet right here. So this is kind of a far reach for me. I'm 6 feet tall, I have to reach my arm out, but Bentley doesn't want me to reach for anything, and I shouldn't have to. So if I hit this and hit this eject button, the whole thing comes out, and at that point I can grab it. It is heavily magnetized, and even on the back of your little tablet here, knurled metal finishes even around the side. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and go through all the details on this little tablet. So obviously you're going to have heated seats in the back. You have cooled seats back here as well. And you see these 3 dots. I can choose whether I just want my bum to be seated, if I want all of it, or if I just want my back part right there. And I can do that both with the heated and the cooled. You can also have both of them on at the same time if you want a nice icy hot kind of feel going on. So very, very cool right there. And then obviously 3 settings. And it's cool because even the animation here will adjust to each seat as you move throughout. You can also heat your armrest back here, which is pretty awesome. Now you have your massage settings, which I can hit right there to turn on and off. I can hit type, and then just like the front, I can choose between my massages, and then I can switch my intensity between soft, medium, strong, maximum, and then minimum as your very low end. Now hitting the home button here, you guys can see how everything is laid out, and the response from this is very, very good, much faster than something from like Rolls-Royce, for example. Now I have my media, I have climate, which once again I can go through here, adjust all of my climate, my seats, which we have already seen, blinds, which is pretty cool. So looking up right here, you guys can see my blind is up, and I can just hit a simple button right here. It's gonna roll down my blinds. You can say hello to the peasants and then roll your blinds right back up. Very cool. And I can also open and close all blinds through these 2 buttons here, my rear blind, and I can just do anything I want. Even my sunroof up here, if I hit this, one of these, this is very awkward. Here we go. That's going to open the top blind. Now going back to your home screen, let's see what else we have on here. Lighting. So I can go through my lighting, choose my color palette. Once again, just like we saw on the front, exact same thing, vibrant, muted. I can choose the accent, ambient, what percent, how bright I want it. I can control all of that back here. Then you also have your flying bee. So if I click on that, it'll say reveal, conceal. And if I'm sitting here in the back and I just do not want people to have the luxury of seeing my awesome Bentley emblem, I can hit conceal, and it even shows this going down in real time, which is pretty insane. The detail even in that just blew my mind right there. Going to car, I can adjust things here. I can even see what the current speed is. So if you are being chauffeured around, or if your husband or wife is driving, you're deciding to sit in the back, you can see if they're going over the speed limit or not right here. Pretty insane. If that doesn't give you hardcore anxiety, I don't know what does. Sound right here, I can adjust all the tones just like you can in the front. And then last but not least, settings, which you can adjust climate, display, and then all of your system settings. So that's pretty much all for this, and then it just slots right back in there, and then it'll have a lock symbol that comes up indicating that it is locked in. But that's pretty much gonna wrap up this back seat. A lot of stuff back here, but man, it is one cool place to be. Let's go ahead and check out the trunk space. All right, so getting to the back of the Flying Spur. Now you can use your key, or my personal favorite way, you can hit this little B right here, and that is going to open the back of your Flying Spur. Now once you are back here, it is fully carpeted, so I wouldn't expect anything less. Even your mat is going to have leather trim around the outside of it with stitching. Very, very cool. Now, there is a little handle here I can lift up, and then right underneath here, you do not have a spare or anything like that. You basically just have your battery and a bunch of accessory equipment for that located right there. Now, right here, you do have this aluminum piece, so that way you don't scratch anything up here. Usually, I expect to see that right here over your paint, but I guess Bentley decided to put that on the inside over your carpet, so your carpet doesn't get dirty. Now back here you do have tethers here, so you can put a net to hold things down. That way you don't have to hear things rolling around here in the back. And these are going to be full aluminum. I mean, I'm not sure if you guys can hear this, but like it's just pure aluminum. It's so crazy to me. But this is pretty much all the space you're going to get. You cannot fold the rear seats down. You guys can see the cubic feet here on the screen. And then once you're ready to close the back of your Bentley, you simply just hit this button and it closes right up. So let's go ahead and see what powers this beast. All right, guys, so coming under the hood of the Flying Spur. Now, this is a 6-liter W12, and this is one of the smoothest engines that you can currently get. Even smoother, I think, personally, than a V12. But this is gonna make 626 horsepower, 664 pound-feet of torque. This is going to all 4 wheels through an 8-speed automatic transmission, and that's pushing around a vehicle that weighs about 5,300 pounds. Now, there's even more details under the hood. So for example, you have this quilted fabric part up here, basically insulation to keep everything quiet. Even the gas cap on here is full aluminum and it has a Bentley B on it. It's just absolutely insane. But I'm sure you guys are curious to see how this big sedan moves. So let's go ahead and figure that out. All right, you guys, so driving the Bentley Flying Spur. Oh boy, this thing is quite the experience. And this is a luxury experience unlike anything I have ever been in. And obviously I'm going to explain why. But it's just so quiet in here. The only thing you can hear is the AC. Listen to this. AC off. It's just so quiet. You can even hear like it's insane how quiet it is in here. It makes the AC feel loud, and this is on fan speed 1. But it's a Bentley, so that's to be expected. Tons of sound deadening, thick windows, everything is just so amazing. Now the drive feel is good. Right now I'm in comfort mode, and it smooths out any imperfections. I can go over speed bumps in this thing going like 10 to 12 miles an hour, and it feels like a tiny crack in the road. It is incredible how Bentley has tuned the suspension to just make it so that nothing on the road phases you, bothers you, nothing distracts you from driving. It is quite impressive. Now, awesome features like we've seen the screen can turn. Very, very cool. I love this compass, and obviously it's a working compass, so it will move depending on which direction I'm going. So right now it's slowly turning to east, and I'm here in Dana Point, and if I want to turn it back, there we go. Now let me go ahead and turn on my seat massagers, because this wouldn't be a proper Bentley review if I wasn't being massaged as I'm talking to you guys. Stretch intensity on its highest setting, and it digs in pretty good. I'd say this is the best massage seat in a car that I have used so far. I'll go ahead and turn left here. Now the steering is just very light. Everything feels very progressive. The steering is very progressive. Nothing's too, I guess, twitchy. Everything is just very fluid, very smooth. It's incredibly easy to drive. And, you know, that's what you would expect from something like this. On top of the suspension being great, obviously the seats are incredibly comfortable. Everything is great. Now we do have the 4 modes. Custom I'm not going to count because I can obviously set that up to how I would want to set it up. Let's go ahead and switch into Bentley mode. Now the first thing I feel is the throttle response is a little bit more immediate. In comfort, you have to, I guess, dive into it a little bit more than usual, and then it'll get you going. But this W12 is effortless, guys. I mean, when I talk about a smooth engine, you think of something like a rotary, an inline 6. This, hands down, the smoothest engine I've ever driven. Now, there could be mounts and stuff making it even smoother, but all I know is that under my right foot, it just feels like a rich surge of torque and power. I keep forgetting this isn't like turbocharged or twin turbocharged, because it has so much meaty torque, and the delivery is super linear, super progressive. It is so impressive. And I understand why Bentley chooses to use this engine and nothing else. They're not using the twin turbo unit from Audi. They're not using anything like that. They're sticking with this W12, and this is why the experience is incredibly just smooth. It's like this thing is running off of like double whipped cream. It is so impressive. Now let's talk negatives really quick. So a few of the negatives would be things like the glare that you get when the sun comes in. Everything is so shiny, you're constantly getting glare from some direction. Right now it's actually pretty good because I guess the sun's behind me. But yeah, if the sun is anywhere up here, over here, it's just boom, glaring everything in your face. So that can get sort of frustrating, very frustrating, especially when it's distracting you from driving. But that's really one of the only negatives about this car. Everything else is great. Visibility is incredible. Obviously, the sound system on here is really good. Let me find a little song here that I can example for you guys. This is non-copyrighted, so don't worry. But it's so clear that the bass is right in your chest. It's not boomy to where it shakes everything. The treble is... Sorry, I got a text message. Alright, so let's go ahead and throw this into sport mode because this thing is a monster. So, we already know over 600 horsepower, 664 pound-feet of torque. This will do 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds in a 5,300 pound vehicle, and this has a top speed of 207 miles an hour. You guys, if you follow my channel, you know not too long ago I reviewed a McLaren GT and a Lamborghini Huracan Evo Spider. This is faster top speed wise than both of those vehicles. My mind is blown, and it feels it every single bit. So we'll go ahead and use these paddles. You just push the B, pull back to throw you into manual mode. The downshifts are pretty good. Nice sound from the exhaust. Really nice. Brakes are pretty good. They're not the most confidence-inspiring brakes whenever you're going quickly because they are a little soft and you have to really get into them. It's not like a McLaren brake where you get into it and then you have immediate braking power. It's just a long pedal travel. So not the most confidence inspiring, especially when you have a vehicle that can go this fast, it's this heavy. So I would like to see a little bit better braking and braking feel. So the paddle shifters work pretty well. They don't have a very engaging click or anything like that to them. They have a very little amount of travel, so because of that, it's just not very satisfying to use. Honestly, I would just leave it in full automatic mode. But let's go ahead and try a little bit of launch control on this thing. Alright, I want to hear the full experience, or want you guys to hear the full experience of this. So we're turning AC all the way down. We're in sport. I have traction off. And launch control is very easy. You just floor it, or floor the brake, floor the accelerator. It'll rev up pretty high to around 4,000 RPMs. And then you just let her go. Good gosh. 60. Oh my goodness. Wow. That thing is so fast. This is, oh my gosh. The torque is what is so mind-blowing to me. It legitimately feels turbocharged. There's so much torque. It's like the most rich power delivery I think I have ever felt. If you're like a wine drinker and you know a lot about wine, this is like a full body mouthfeel in terms of power. It is so rich, and there's torque what feels like everywhere. I mean, in terms of engines, this probably feels more electric in terms of just the effortless surge of torque. Minus the noise, if you were to take that away, it would pretty much feel like an electric vehicle if you were to plug your ears up. It is so good, so good, and needless to say, it gets this thing moving effortlessly. That feels way faster than 3.5. I would say 3.3, 3.4. It is just super good, and it's crazy seeing this thing shoot off from a stoplight.
God, that makes no sense.
Well, everyone, that is going to wrap up my review of the Bentley Flying Spur. This is such an impressive vehicle, and I think this Spur is a good thing for Bentley. This really pushes their vehicles further up into modern tech, into the modern day, and here's why I think this car is worth every penny. Now, in my title, I said that this car, this Bentley Flying Spur, is worth every single penny. Now, here's why I think that is. With something like a Lamborghini, I can get a Mustang and tune it, spend $20,000 to $30,000 maybe, and make it as fast as a Lamborghini. I can't get a BMW or I can't get an Audi and make it as nice as this Bentley. This is something that is crafted. This is something that you do not see, and the fact that it has the performance that it does, the looks that it does, the overall package is, I guess, more worth it in my mind than something like a Lamborghini, especially if you want ultimate luxury, if you want a car that can truly do it all. This is the way to go. It's really hard to deny, and I think compared to something like a Rolls-Royce, it really does make that car now feel very old school. But if you like that, Rolls-Royce is obviously still going to be there for you. But if you want something that's extremely powerful, looks as powerful as it is, and has the modern tech to back it all up, this is an amazing vehicle. Thank you so much, Bentley, for sending me this to review for you guys. If you like this review, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Let's go, bro. One hit. One take.